A tumultuous week in a typically sunny atmosphere in Orange County, California. We welcome you into the first Fiesta Day football of the year for OCSC. Tonight's match presented by Taqueria Hoy, the official taco of Orange County Soccer Club. It's OCSC 1 win through 8 games, welcoming San Diego Loyal to Irvine. Joined by former league veteran Ricky Lopez-Espin, Mike Watts on hand to look at the Western Conference standings presented by IPA Physio. San Diego right where they want to be. A win today, they're a point off the pace atop the West.
And it's all about the reaction here for the Loyal. Last time out, you lose at home against El Paso. So for Nate Miller, he's going to look for his team for the reaction. First 10 to 15 minutes, get on the front foot, ask questions. For Orange County, you're at home. New man at the helm, so what does this look like in front of your home faithful?
That's right. Morton Carlson will take over after a club legend left the club. A decorated player, formerly the captain, led the team to the Western Conference Final, became the interim taking over for Braden Cloutier in 2021, went on to win the final in Tampa Bay. But since then, the team has struggled to field the same 11, 48 players in 47 matches, and now they're looking to get a little bit more out of our Omega accounting player to watch. We spoke to Morton Carlson. He said Milan Olaski needs to be great.
And it's interesting. Already 3 goals in 8 games from Milan Olaski, but he knows the striker can do more. Milan Olaski, now it's an opportunity to take weight on your shoulders, show that leadership. Yes, you want goals. Yes, you want assists, but do the dirty part of the game. Backtrack, win balls, get into second areas. Ask a lot of questions of San Diego Loyal. Get him in around that 18-yard box. It's going to be a good day for Orange County.
All right, the last time Orange County changed coaches, fans arrived en masse. And believe it or not, Orange County defeated San Diego. Loyal fans have certainly made their way here. We'll meet the lineups and we'll kick this one off in a moment when we return to Championship Soccer Stadium. Tonight's match presented by Taqueria Hoy.
A few years ago, I was making cabinets and somebody gave this idea like, hey, why don't you make your beautiful doors to fit IKEA cabinets?
You know, we care about everything that goes into making a door or a panel or a cabinet. Designing a kitchen or even remodeling it, it's a difficult process. We're here to kind of bridge that gap between the vision and realizing that goal.
We're able to make everything in-house, handmade, handcrafted, beautiful product.
Here in Irvine, there's something for everyone. You can satisfy your sweet tooth here or here. Cool off with freshly picked berries or catch some rays. Get some post-worthy views or rock out with your friends. Raise your adrenaline or just relax. It's master planned with you in mind. Irvine awaits.
This match is presented by Taqueria Hoy, the official taco of Orange County Soccer Club, by Hogue, the official hospital and healthcare partner of OCSC, and by Omega Accounting Solutions, your ERC and tax specialist today, your trusted advisor tomorrow. All right, let's take a look at the first 11 that interim head coach Morton Carlson has assembled. It's brought to you by Kimco Staffing, and it features 2 changes, Olaski and Scott.
And you see Scott is going to be a center back, but look how the fluidity. He might step up into that middle field, come back to a back 3, but all comes down to that front 3. Olaski, the Olaski brothers, Nielsen's going to stay high. Milan is going to be able to float, and then you're going to see Brian Olaski come as a false number 10. Partida, Chado, Powers, dictating tempo, pulling the strings. This starting 11 for Morton Carlson is going to be extremely talented. Get on the ball, get in a rhythm, and be confident.
Meanwhile, for San Diego Loyal, first-year head coach Nate Miller here from the start. The 11 that he put together includes 2 changes as well, Riley and Martin.
And you look at Ronaldo Damas, that motivation factor for the ex-league MVP is going to come and say hi next to Moshe Bani. Colin Martin's going to play in front of Charlie Adams and Joe Corona. You have Nick Moon and Camden Riley getting the width, getting into that final third as they see fit for Nate Miller. Really talented starting 11.
There is the 9th head coach in Orange County Soccer Club history, Morten Carlson, the 44-year-old Dane, who's with the Danish technical team for their World Cup run in Qatar. A calm and stoic face. One as a tempest has overtaken this Orange County Soccer Club the past week. And we're ready to begin. Eligio Arguin is the referee. We begin on this Saturday night with a SoCal Classico of sorts. It is Orange County welcoming San Diego Loyal on a sunny Saturday night. Pulled in by Adams. And launched upfield for Ronaldo Damas. Ronaldo Damas in behind! Well, that almost felt on cue. Ronaldo Damas, the former USL Championship Young Player of the Year and Championship Final MVP with Orange County in 2021. First time back since his time overseas in Sweden, now with rival San Diego.
Yeah, just so opportunistic. The willingness to stretch and test the shape of Orange County of your powers. And Nakam, what does this look like in terms of relationships, communication? Ronaldo Damas just off the shoulder, number 9, always going to be asking questions, trying to get in behind of the opposition.
A full member of the Haitian national team and critical to this Orange County side that went from beneath the playoff line all the way to knocking off Tampa Bay in the 2021 final. Rolled over by Martin. Upfield from Adams. Back by Nakam. Forward from Cropper. Keys to the game are brought to you by Afters Ice Cream. Be patient, one step at a time, Orange County.
And you're talking to Morten Carlson. It's not going to be perfect in day one. So be patient, trust the process, trust his vision, and take it a game at a time, a moment at a time, a pass by a time. For San Diego Loyal, you have to win second balls. We talked to Nate Miller, said Orange County like to play direct. Getting those second balls of Milan Alaski or Brian Alaski in the pocket. So it's a big challenge for Adams, Corona, and Colin Martin to have that secondary action in terms of the defensive positioning to win those second balls and negate counterattacking moments.
Nakam. Villanueva in the width, turn that down direct in this instance. Nobody home, and Koke steps over for San Diego.
It's going to be very interesting to see how this match plays out, just in terms of that midfield ground. You look how San Diego Loyal like to play. Nate Miller overload in the center channels, whether it is Joe Corona, Charlie Adams, and Colin Martin. Those three, that three duo, probably top class in USL Championship. So on the other side, it's Partita, Scott, and Powers. What do they look like man to man? You can't give time and space and real estate for those players to pick up their head and pass out of pressure. So if you're Morten Carlson, that middle three needs to stay compact and needs to stay together in terms of the defensive positioning.
Thrown in by Nick Moon. Adams of the Kyle variety. It's really the hair that gives him away. Villanueva. A little give and go, well worked. Chipped over the top by Chata. Alaski approaching the end line, fought off by Riley. Service bangs into the air. Nielsen tried to get under it. And out toward Damas. And the spark plug flying ahead, finally overtaken.
You think he's motivated to get on the score sheet?
Feels that way.
Really interesting to see this relationship on the top line for both of these sides, whether it is Orange County, Nielsen, and Milan. How do they work together? Milan has the freedom to float as he sees fit. Nielsen's going to want to stay high and occupy that back line for the Loyal. But on the other hand, it's Moshe Bani playing underneath Ronaldo Damas. Moshe Bani very comfortable on the ball in terms of combination play, finding that final action, shot from distance, the goals that he's had within his USL Championship career. And then you have Ronaldo Damas. We've talked about his resume coming back over and signing for the Loyal.
Danger there on the far touchline, rolls back to Koke. This is Adams. Forward from Riley. Elijah Martin. Damas got tangled up. Free kick. San Diego. And thankfully for us, in the less sun-drenched half of the field. Tonight's injury report is brought to you by Zulfgari Law. Peterson, a very late add to the bench. He was listed as out in the injury report. They're without center back Bjorschel, forward Among, the former San Diego player, and the goalkeeper Shuttler. Notably, Evan Conway not in the bench, although San Diego does not officially release an injury report.
Set pieces are going to be extremely important for the Loyal. The quality that they have over this ball, whether it's an in-swinger, an out-swinger. Joe Corona, Charlie Adams, take your pick with the big man sitting on top of this 18-yard box. So if you're Cody Cropper, a lot of communication. If you get off your line, you have to be extremely sure that you're getting any sort of contact on the ball.
Corona feigns, so it is Adams. For Adams, out of play. I think I found the Loyals supporter section. You know, it's funny, last year they were on the other side. I'm trying to figure out what the thought was there. The corner, sent away, second bite of the apple. Into Adams, skips toward Damas. Rolled up by Colin Martin. Moon. Milan Olaski stepped in for Orange County. And sent in behind for Brian Olaski. Back to Koke.
Well, those are the little things we talked about in the open. Yes, we know you can score goals and get assists, but how else can you impact the game if you're Milan Olaski doing your defensive duties, just picking the pocket? Such a slippery attacking player like Nick Moon. That's top-class commitment from the goal scorer for Orange County.
Adams. Moshaban. Now, of note, back to his time in Lansing, all these years in San Diego, his last name is traditionally included E at the end, Moshabani. That's been changed in the notes. And while many teams have submitted verbal pronunciation guides from the players themselves, San Diego not one of those teams. So Ricky's former teammate isn't who he thought he was.
Moshabani it is.
Adams, I'm sure about that. Moon. pulled away from Chata. Ball for Olaski, siphoned off by Elijah Martin. There's Colin Martin.
All of these double names, when there's Adams, Martin, Olaski.
I mean, you've got a pretty high likelihood if you just throw a dart at the board, huh? 2 Adams, 2 Olaskis, 2 Martins, and only one set of brothers. That's a push and a free kick conceded by Elijah Martin. Former Galaxy 2 player, grew up in Fresno, up north. Brian Olaski tees that up. Nearly slipped through for Milan. Olaski got the return. It's a little clever leave off by Emil Nielsen if that plays out.
And it's better here from Orange County, just getting their foot on the ball. Now the talent within that center channel to break lines in terms of their passing. It's been extremely fluid in the last couple minutes here. You have Partida and Chata, the double pivot, really dictating tempo, changing the point of attack. And then you have Brian Olaski, player that has that final quality in and around that 18-yard box. And how often you get him combined with his brother.
Scott. Good recovery by Partida. You know, there's such a thing in our business of seeing a schedule on paper in February and circling it immediately. And then the season begins to play out. You don't quite know what you're going to get. In this case, San Diego, where I think everybody thought they would be, as this clipped forward and all the way to Koke. Orange County, I think a lot of people thought this would be their bounce back. Traditionally, when they've had a poor finish, missed the playoffs, they've gone on to either win the regular season #1 seed, win the trophy. That hasn't really played out this year. You would think there's a number of head coaches league-wide that had this circled to watch as their late game as well, just like we did. And now here we are sitting 12 minutes in. We're just starting to get a feel for what Orange County will be.
And you just look at the roster. Obviously, games are not won and lost in terms of the players. You have to actually walk across the white line and execute. But the talent that this Orange County roster has, especially, that's a great ball.
Oh, wow. Damas was offside. That is some cheeky stuff. Yes, Thomas came here to score, but he's offside. Whew. I don't know that.
It's extremely tight.
Yeah.
But you just see the rotations in the center of the park. Charlie Adams comes out to provide the width, able to pick out a pass to vision that he has, and we'll take a look at it here.
Oh,
Extremely tight. Nice little tidy finish as well, up and over the top. Always willing to get in behind the pure runs from Damas. That's what he brings you. Able to stretch, and as he stretches the game, that's when you have Moshaban to come in the hole. A really give and take relationship on the top line for Nate Miller. It's always fascinating to see a loyal team play in terms of the positions and the spacing between players, especially down the spine of the side. You have this man playing like a second center back, Koke Vegas, very adventurous off his line, very comfortable at the ball. Charlie Adams most times likely comes out, Martin drops in, and then you bring in Corona, experiencing the quality that he possesses. Hard to argue a midfield trio that's more talented than the loyal.
Over 25 caps, Corona, for the U.S. national team, including a couple of gold cups in the rear view. Nearly through, and Orange County can't quite get out on the break. This is Martin. Was flanked by Corona. And a free kick here for Orange County.
It'll be very interesting, that nice little battle on that far side. And so you wanted hard challenge there from Martin, long touch. Oh, Scott picks his pocket, goes down. You have Dogman, you have Martin. If you can make those wing backs for the Loyal defend more, you're going to have a lot of space to operate in. It's a big challenge for the wide players for Orange County to pin back, whether it's a Riley or a Martin, to do their defensive duties more times often than not.
Put in play by Scott. Cabanas are back again for the 2023 OCSC season, so don't miss out on fun exclusive amenities that they have to offer. These cabanas designed specifically with group outings in mind. That's a dangerous ball. Laid back, Moshe Bond! A rose by any other name. San Diego grabs the lead inside a quarter hour. That was vicious from San Diego. And Nate Miller is over the moon.
How quickly they turn their defensive efforts into attacking opportunities. It's a bit sloppy in this back line here for Villanueva. You always have to peek out to check where the opposing forward is. As Damas gets in behind, it's a cutback ball. The back line for Orange County is retreating towards their goal line. Moshe Bond does extremely well to just hang out, top this 18-yard box, cutback, so much pace, hits it extremely clean. Nothing Cody Cropper can do, and Moshe Bond, second on the year. San Diego Loyal on the road, 1-0 up.
He ran 16,000 meters in the game against Seattle midweek in the Open Cup. We've seen some real Open Cup after dark drama historically, but 5-4 in extra time. San Diego out in one of the most brutal fashions possible. Penalty past 120 minutes. Koke patient but puts it out. That was a really rough, emotional week for San Diego, and that's a goal that they'll be very proud to stamp their name on now.
And it's interesting, you talked to Nate Miller about that midweek game in Open Cup, and then you host El Paso, and you would think the highs and lows of a game, it's very difficult to get back up. And he said, look, we should have beat El Paso. He said we were the better side, just very unfortunate, very frustrating not to take home all 3 points. So you knew he was going to fire his team up in terms of reaction, first 10 minutes, and he has to be extremely pleased, 17 minutes in, 1-0.
Your former manager ahead to Moon. Nick Moon, the slide in. Moon tries to get back on it. Now they point for the spot, a penalty. Appeals from Knockham that was a dive. Those arguments will be shunned. And the Loyal have gone on the road and put themselves in position to go 2-0 up. Villanueva's been booked.
And it's a great touch here for Nick Moon. What he does, he takes it across Villanueva. And as the outside back needs to make a decision, do I let him go? Do I try to play on this ball? Comes late, takes out Nick Moon's legs, and it's good refereeing. Advantage is played, sees there's no advantage, you point to the spot, but that's what Nick Moon gives you, the ability to stretch the game. Pure pace, pure power, getting behind, but it's that touch that really puts the outside back in a very tricky situation. He needs to put a play on the ball, unless it's a 1v1. Nick Moon feels the contact, goes down, as Corona steps up to the spot.
The yellow card goes to Villanueva. Cody Cropper, 24 penalties faced in his career. He has saved 3. Joe Corona steps to the spot. His career is taken 2, made 1, missed 1. He scored in the Open Cup against Stephen Cleveland of Seattle in the Open Cup last week. His only miss, Gold Cup 2017. Corona against Cropper. Corona roofs it. A brilliant start for the Loyal in Orange County. 2-0 San Diego. his first for the Loyal.
And just a fantastic take here from Joe Corona. Opens up his hips and closes them at the last second as Cody Cropper guesses the right way. Just roofs this thing and ropes it into that top corner. No keeper stopping that. Confident as he would like, and off to the fans to celebrate. San Diego Loyal 2-0 on the road. Dream start for Nate Miller.
Corona at the spot in the 19th, Moshaban in the 15th. And for Orange County, part of the conversation with Nate Miller with San Diego was we have to withstand this immediate boost of energy. Despite the tremendous feeling of loss, former captain of the club went from playing to assistant coach into interim head coach, then manager. He's been the constant, along with Oliver Weiss and just a handful of other guys over the past 7 years. And with Richard Chaplow moving on, there was that drag early in the week. They felt like the energy in training was solid. But San Diego wanted to turn that weapon against Orange County, and they've done that. Chata. Olaski. Orange County desperate for a response. Olaski leading. Sliding effort in by Grant Stoneman. Chata making the long run after starting the play.
And it's fantastic work here through the center of the field from Orange County. As this ball rotates out to Brian Olaski, look at the patience. He lets this thing develop. Lets Chata come in from a late situation. Coco Vegas comes off his line, does extremely well, closes down any sort of angle to put it out for a corner kick.
True Path Loans corner kick for Orange County. Went for that driving run. That's going to be another corner. Knock him in that diagonal across the front post.
Set pieces are going to be extremely important now for Orange County. Brilliant way to claw yourself back into this game.
Olaski mixing it up. Header settled, deflected, taken out of the air, and left wayward. Coque Vegas. Goal kick. You know, we'd be remiss not to mention tonight, Nate Miller, the head coach, was an assistant to Landon Donovan. Landon officially inducted, didn't take long, into the National Soccer Hall of Fame.
As it shouldn't.
No, not Landon. There's not a lot of guaranteed first ballots. He's the one. Anywho, as that's a foul, belongs here to San Diego, and Elijah Martin's been both giving and receiving a number of those tonight. You played for Nate Miller, and it was fun talking to him a little bit. He said maybe best to go ask guys like Nick Moon and Moshaban and Stoneman that were with me in Lansing the difference between then and now. A League One head coach after a little bit of seasoning in the championship. Villanueva steps in on Moon. Taken to Olaski. Olaski chipping across. Coque Vegas has it.
I think Brian Olaski's been extremely active, coming down to the middle of the field, ability to pick up the ball in terms of his running, but also break teams down with his passing. It's a brilliant idea. Has to go up and over the top of Coque Vegas, but Coque Vegas has been spot on in terms of his positioning. As he peeks up, everyone's crashing towards that near post. Just doesn't get enough lift on it. He's a very crafty player, Brian Olaski, is something that Orange County has been missing on that front line.
Nevertheless, Ricky, you played for him at Lansing. When you heard him talk this week, you spoke about how well-spoken he is, how clear in his philosophy he is, and I imagine a lot of that existed long ago, too.
And it's just fantastic. I asked him, what have you seen on not only you, but the players that from Lansing?
Yeah.
And the first thing he said, nothing about football, just the men that they've grown to be. That's what Nate Miller's all about. Man manager wants to get the best out of you. If he sees something's wrong, puts his arm around you, because he understands that to perform your best on the field, you have to be comfortable off of it. And that's the type of guy that Nate is. and is just so happy to see the success that he's had at the Loyal. And obviously, when you're under Landon Donovan, it's a nice little experience to get and to pick his brain and go off of what he's built here at San Diego.
It's kind of funny listening to him. You heard those Landonisms from time to time that he worked in. I actually brought up a quote from Landon, and he goes, "Oh, that's Landon for sure." Well, Landon, you know, so often you'll see a guy with a certain number of caps or goals maybe not take those chats with announcers or with media quite as seriously. Landon always a grow the game type in every facet. Congratulations to him on the Hall of Fame. Congratulations to both he and Nate for what they've built here, which just seems to be going up, up, up. Ball forward for Corona. Throw here from Martin. Colin Martin. Back here for Riley. Make sure you're grabbing those last alcoholic beverages before the 60th minute. And be sure to join us on Wednesday, May 17th. That's Whiskey Wednesday, an hour-long tasting session of select whiskeys. Grab tickets, orangecountysoccer.com/drinks with us today. Moon. Adams. Ball bounces away from Cropper. Scott hounded by Damas. Olaski inverting.
But those are moments for Orange County. The way that the Loyal like to play, they like to overcommit and be expansive, commit a lot of numbers, especially in that final third. So if you force a turnover, you have to be extremely quick, going back the other way and very direct. It's a good idea from Brian Olaski playing to the feet of Nielsen, trying to get that 1-2. For Orange County, in terms of managing your emotions, these next 10 to 15 minutes needs to be extremely mature. You're down 2-0 at home, not ideal. There's still a whole half of football to be played. You don't need to hit that home run ball or overextend yourself trying to claw yourself back into the game. Like you said in the keys, it's pass by pass, 1 foot at a time.
Olaski for Nielsen. Adams met it. Moon. Ronaldo Damas. It's a push from Partita. By the way, you mentioned Brian Claerhout. He was managing Damas and Corona over in Sweden. Forrest Lasso, too, for that matter, at Sundsvall. But ultimately, they ended up getting relegated. Manager comes back to the U.S., and so, too, do all 3 of the American players. They had a wild, thrilling win of some enormity last night at Colorado Springs, El Paso.
Talking about building something in San Diego. Brian Claerhout has his fingerprint all over on the pulse of that team.
Yes, he does. Ball touched over by Nielsen. Villanueva. Chata. Scott. Now the reach of Riley. Lasky, Scott. Lasky into Chata.
Needs to be more movement on that front line for Orange County. Brian Lasky is just waiting for someone to break a line with the run, pull a player out of position. Give credit to him. There we go, better.
And they're able to swing around the outside, cutback ball. This hits Lasky. And as he sent it central, pings into an offside position.
Good passage of play there from Orange County. The third man weave. As Milan Lasky bumps this thing back. Partida plays Dogman through. I think it's just behind Chata. Just makes that run and overcommits. We just see playing together, moving off of one of each other. Causes a lot of confusion within the back line. It's a bad turnover.
Stoneman gave it away. Scott flicks it through. Ball deflects, shot is high. Milan Lasky trying to pull one back for Orange County.
The risky run when you try to play out of the back. Grant Stoneman just hits this thing. It's this touch right here from Nielsen that gets him in trouble, but give credit to Grant Stoneman, closes down the space extremely quick as this ball falls back to Milan Lasky. His least preferred left foot, just so unlucky, puts it open over the bar.
Brian Lasky tried to pitchfork that over the top. Settled by Partida. Scott. There's nothing on there. Knockham. Forward from Powers. This is good from Orange County into the final third once again. Orange shirts flooding forward. That falls to Moon. These are the new orange kits. Orange County just debuted in that game against Portland. Really tightly contested Open Cup game that was. Ball through, Orange County into the final third again. Cutback ball to the spot. Slide to keep it away from Damas. Second effort, Moshaban. Play on. Brian Lasky tried to flick it through again. Too clever for his own good. Bounces to Moon. And now a foul, won by Moon.
I'd argue that first one on Moshaban's more of a foul than this one.
I think everyone but Brian Lasky thought that.
We'll take a look here. It just clips the back of Moshaban. He goes down extremely soft, to be fair. But Brian Lasky, if you have the space on your right foot, you have to take it. He's preferred. Try your luck. When you're in and around that 18-yard box, you don't have the luxury to cut it back. Take your time, pull the trigger, give credit to San Diego Loyal. Their defensive recovery runs have been spot on 33 minutes in.
Corona from the spot in the 19th. Moshaban in the 15th. Chata. Cropper. Orange County's first game under the new interim man, Morton Carlson, after Richard Chaplow left the club this week. Team with 1 win in 8 games to start the campaign, and yet still hanging around the playoff picture, which one would imagine is part of the reason the change comes now. They win today, they're just 1 point out. There's Carlson. Spoke about a new challenge. Spoke about the different styles of play that he's witnessed already in the 8 games as an assistant coach before taking the helm. They did say their 3-1 loss at New Mexico over the weekend, one that ultimately saw all this change. Said we can all agree that game was way below par.
To be fair, 34 minutes in, I think they've been pretty good so far. Just getting into that final third. You've gotten punished on 2 sloppy mistakes in the back. That's how the quality of the USL Championship, if you're not tight at all moments of the match, you're going to get bitten. They're having a lot of success getting to that final third, but the only thing that's been lacking is that final piece of the puzzle, the execution, the quality, whether it's a combination play, a ball across the box that gives someone an opportunity to get on the end of it. A lot of positives to be taken away so far in the attacking phase.
Adams. Stoneman.
And once they've gone 2 down, really dictating tempo, getting on the ball a bit more.
Field from Partita. He's in hold-up play up top. That diagonal's on point. Brian Olowski after it again. Adams sacrificing. Shota in reverse. Ball across Nielsen. Milan Olowski, chance to reload. Bypassing Knockham. Shota. Adams.
I really like this spacing, especially of Brian Olowski. He stays high and wide, and what that does, that gives a really big headache to whether it's Kyle Adams, Nick Moon.
Somehow that's settled. Shota let himself down with that square pass. Moshaban. Thomas, slide in, Knockham. Scott. Scott. Not great, Scott.
But to get into that position, to pick up this second phase of the ball, Kyle Scott. A lot of praise from the former manager, Richard Chaplow, in terms of his passing range. Always challenged him to produce in that final third. Nice little give and go between him and Milan Olowski. But you need to hit the target from that distance. The quality that you have, you know you should do better, you could do better. Another opportunity that goes to the wayside for Orange County.
Orange County pressing San Diego way up the field. If they do break this line, and Colin Martin does so, Orange County is trying to race back here. Moon. OCSC has new premium seating options for this season. New GA box just above the bleachers, new field box sections now available. That makes 4 premium seating experiences at the Champ, along with the cabanas and field MVP seating. Book your experience today. OrangeCountySoccer.com/premium. Riley, Martin.
Just so patient in their build-out phase. The loyal. Nothing seems forced. Just play the simple ball, try to draw Orange County out. When you have those gaps to play and penetrate, you play quick, and you play direct. These spaces that Nate Miller gives the players on the front line the freedom to take on.
Yeah, here they go. Moon. Ooh. That is a corner. Knockham appeared to stick his arms out in Moon's general direction. Apparently didn't make nearly enough contact.
Exactly what I was talking about, the ability to just draw out the opposition for San Diego. And when these gaps open up, whether it's Nick Moon, whether it's Ronaldo Damas, ability to get in behind with the pace that they possess. Not the challenge for Orange County in terms of their shape defensively. That front line steps, that midfield line and back line need to come together and step as a unit. You don't want to have those big gaps. That's when you start getting pulled apart and chasing shadows for Orange County, and that's not a good sign for Nate Miller.
So Adams will make his way off for a moment. This scoreline holds San Diego catapult to second in the Western Conference and just a point behind Sacramento Republic, who would have a game in hand. This would see Orange County hanging 11th, only Vegas behind them with 2 games in hand. Oh boy, Adams is done. Not a change San Diego wanted to make, to say the least. Good news is you've got a tremendous player, Alejandro Guido, coming off the bench. First appearance off the bench, 5th appearance overall. Sub brought to you by Metaquip, turning setbacks into comebacks. Service here on the set piece. Oh, Scott. Partita.
Different look for now for San Diego Loyal. Charlie Adams is more likely to stay home, and was a double pivot between him and Colin Martin. And now you have Colin Martin. He's going to be the one that stays home, and Guido is going to have the freedom to join the attack as he sees fit. And the ability to create something out of nothing. The success that he's had in youth internationally, Alejandro Guido. Terrific talent and a massive signing. When he announced he was coming to the Loyal.
Well, Landon Donovan told me a couple of years ago what a source of pride Guido was, how he developed as a professional early in his time at San Diego. This is Corona. Partita. Got through Riley. But lest we forget, Riley is pretty far from home here. This has been really stifling, impressive stuff from San Diego. Header falls kindly through toward Damas. Knockham, right place, right time.
Just seems like both of these clubs are going like for like. Sharing possession of the ball. Moments ago was Orange County asking the questions. Now it's San Diego Loyal. Always seem to be in control of Loyal. With the ball at their feet. Crisp and clean the way that they like to play.
Moon. Foul by Knockham. With a dismissive wave. Slinks back into position. Corona is down. Well, Adams came off already, so one of the players you traditionally put on a set piece came off due to injury. So it's surely going to be Corona now. Corona. Losky. Bumped up toward Martin. Guido. Nearly taken by Corona. And behind, met by Stoneman. That's a risque challenge by Partida. A little bit of room, maybe a chance to get a shot away.
And it's better there from Brian Olowski, taking the initiative and taking what Kyle Adams has given him. Tons of real estate to put this ball on his right foot. Pulls the trigger, but give credit to Kyle Adams. Positioning in that instant was perfection to close down the space and not let the ball go through.
Beyond Partida, the run out is on. Thomas got his legs tangled up. He's looking back. There's a time where the fans here would be losing their minds and very much being on his side of that argument. Those times are gone now. They were working on getting Thomas over here. And we asked Nate Miller about it. It's like close to 6 months they had their eye on him, and he is, data-wise, perfect for what they're looking for.
And it's interesting, you look at 2 goals on the season so far, and Nate's like, I'm not worried about him. I think he's going to score goals as the season progresses, as he comes into his role, knows what's asked about him, knows the tendencies from our boards. He's going to get on the end of things. He's going to be a handful, and you just see his work rate never in question, the ability to run things down, opportunistic, just a fox in the box. If he starts scoring, you have Moshaban. Conway comes back. The San Diego Loyal attacking unit is never going to be an easy out. The talent that they have.
Kept away from Olowski. Now from Adams left something to be desired, but San Diego able to launch it forward. A minute before the intermission here, Moshaban zigzagging and finally latching on. Guido. Ball through. Can Orange County get one here before the break? Driving, Nielsen hit the post. Hit the post. And if that is not an encapsulation of the entire Orange County season.
But how good is his entry ball from Milan Olowski? He pulls out Riley. That leaves Nielsen 1v1 with Stoneman. He knows exactly what he's doing, setting up his defender, drops his shoulder, comes to the interior. And I'll tell you what, 2 inches to the right, that's in the back of the net. Terrific take from Nielsen, just so unfortunate, hits the wrong side of the post.
Not a lot of missteps from San Diego. Orange County has been inquisitive, but San Diego has largely had very confident answers. That time they escape a brush with conceding the insurance. Moshaban in the 15th, Corona in the 19th, 2-0 at the half.
You just talk about being clinical in both boxes. San Diego Loyal clinical on the attacking phase defensively as well. You see 2 sloppy mistakes for Orange County. One, that it's a bad giveaway. The other one, bad positioning. You draw a PK. But for Morton Carlson, a lot to be pleased about. The only thing that's lacking is that final execution inside that 18-yard box. Keep on going, get on the ball, playing your terms. For Nate Miller, defensively, you need to be compact, keep everything in front of you, and see this game out.
Moshaban grabs the opener. It's Corona from the spot. And San Diego have traveled up the coast and put together a perfect first half. A 2-0 lead. And the supporters that made the trip have had a lot to cheer about. Halftime is presented by IPA Physio, the official physical therapy partner of Orange County SC. Loyal, if this scoreline holds, would be second in the West. They're up 2-0 at the break.
At Hoag Orthopedic Institute, there's no one better at getting you back to you. Orthopedics and spine, it's all we do.
So we're getting that house we told you guys about.
You're buying a house?
Yeah. Soldiers get VA loan guarantees.
Yeah, no money down.
Well, my office gives us free bagels.
That's cool.
Yes. I'll get you the file.
Sounds intense.
Clients. What do you do?
Retired?
Tech?
Nah, Army.
Huh. Check your spam folder.
One of the main treatments we work on with the players is treatments that focus in on lower extremities. We want to make sure that we maximize flexibility and minimize stiffness in the hips and legs. During the session, we incorporate stretches, IASTM, percussive therapy, and cryotherapy. The session is really tailored to the needs of the athlete being treated.
Recovery is the crucial part of every athlete's performance.
We're excited to be working with OCSE again to help the team recover throughout the season.
We welcome you back to halftime. Tonight it's presented by IPA Physio, the official physical therapy partner of Orange County SC. OC fans, Star on the crest. Well, they trail 2-0 tonight, and they are trailing toward the bottom of the standings. The upcoming schedule for Orange County brought to you by Destination Irvine. And for Orange County, they go on the road to Oakland. It is a ton of California teams in a row here.
And if you're Mark Carlson, you have to be extremely pleased that in terms of travel, you go to Miami. That's going to be an interesting one. But Phoenix Rising falling today at Tampa Bay. If you're looking at that game, that's something that you have to take up throughout 3 points. You welcome RGV. Martin Carlson, this thick of games in your schedule is going to be extremely important to pick up points, not only at home, but on the road as well.
Next up for the Loyal, Destination San Diego. They take on RGV at home at Torero Stadium, 7 o'clock next weekend, and then they start that brutal road swing. Miami, Oakland, San Antonio.
Yeah, it's going to tell a lot for Nate Miller, who to count on in terms of adversity, different style of pitches, hostility, whatever it may be. So Miami, Oakland, San Antonio, thick schedule for it. Nate Miller and the Loyal, and then you welcome Sacramento Republic. That one's going to be very interesting. Mark Briggs, that talented side that he has at the moment as well.
Yeah, that's the one that we're circling now. That's for sure. Right now, that'd be 1 versus 2. Look at the sun setting and the fans seated, waiting for the second half. IPA Physio halftime continues after these messages.
We all have goals. But let's be honest, most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
That one a good strike, and he finds the back of the net. For Ownby. Ownby cuts it back. Ownby's cross to the back post. Dead! How about that start from Louisville City? Halftime presented by IPA Physio, the official physical therapy partner of Orange County SC. I don't know that I need physical therapy, but I do need that cotton candy in the background. Only $6. I think I can swing that for both of us. All right.
It's not Whiskey Wednesday yet. That's what I'm ready for.
Here's a look at news and notes around the league. Of course, everyone talking about Richard Chaplow's departure from the club after winning the title in 2021 here in Orange County. But Enzo Martinez, this man making bank this week. 2 goals and an assist. Player of the week, and then Ricky, Louisville, Miami, first game on ESPN2 this year.
That's going to be extremely interesting. Miami FC is starting to pick up steam. You go the full length with Inter Miami in the Open Cup. You turn around, get a draw at Oakland Roots. You win your last game. Blue City taking some time off. So what does this look like at Lynn Family Stadium? It's going to be rocking. That's one thing for sure.
Let's show you the out-of-town scores. They are presented by Euro Soccer Trips. And Memphis able to grab a 2-0 win against Hartford. Indy escaped with all 3 points tonight against Loudoun. Tampa Bay, the final that never happened. It's the Rowdies that pick off a 2-0 win.
Yeah, you look at Oakland Roots going into Birmingham as well, taking all 3 points. That's 2 losses on the bounce for Tommy Sohn, but Tampa Bay Rowdies, Phoenix Rising just looked like a shell of themselves, not really clicking on the attacking phase, but Neil Collins needed that win at home at Lang.
There's a look at the upcoming schedule for games tomorrow and into next weekend, including the ESPN2 fixture, Louisville and Miami. Upcoming schedule brought to you by Destination Irvine. Anything pique your interest?
Well, Las Vegas played yesterday against Charleston. Now they turn around and host the defending champions. I don't know what happened there in terms, I think it was field something with availability. Don't want to get into it, don't know, but that's going to be extremely interesting to see Las Vegas turn around. I think it's 44 hours between games.
Yeah, a 3 p.m. Pacific time. I mean, look, they've played at midnight before, but this feels crazy. Colorado Springs and Memphis has a little bit of juice to it as well, and Detroit got a lot of work to do to try and catch up. All right, it is halftime here. That is an old school Damas jersey at half field.
A hot dog eating contest, seems like.
I've seen way, way too much of this. Go to break.
A few years ago, I was making cabinets and somebody gave this idea like, hey, why don't you make your beautiful doors to fit IKEA cabinets?
We care about everything that goes into making a door or a panel or a cabinet. Designing a kitchen or even remodeling it, it's a difficult process. We're here to kind of bridge that gap between the vision and realizing that goal.
We're able to make everything in-house, handmade, handcrafted, beautiful product.
When you are killed by a drunk driver, you become nothing but a stick figure on a police report. Your death will be a story never to be told by you, and justice will never be served. Last year, nearly 13,000 stick figures were drawn by officers after a drunk driving fatality. It will take everyone to eliminate drunk driving, so that no one ever has to tell your story from a police report.
Tonight's Fiesta Day football is presented by Taqueria Oi, the official taco of Orange County Soccer Club. And once again, the Noah Benadou Foundation wants to remind fans to never drive drunk and get home safely. Mike Watts, Ricky Lopez, Aspen, let's get you caught up on the first half highlights here. They're brought to you by Turf Gym, located in Newport Beach. Starting the 15th minute, this is too sloppy.
Yeah, it's another moment here from Villanueva. Doesn't look back. Ronaldo Damas always lurking in behind that 18, the back line. It's a cutback ball. It's extremely clever. Moshavani hit it too well. Cody Cropper cannot react quick enough. But just as this cut back, the back line's retreating. There's this pocket of space. The lack of run there from Moshaban gets on the end of it. San Diego 1-0 up, and then it goes from bad to worse from Villanueva. Just get caught between him and Nick Moon. It's that first touch that's so exquisite from Nick Moon. Puts himself in between him, Villanueva. Joe Corona makes no mistake about the finish. He ropes this thing into the top corner. Cody Cropper guesses the right way. There's no keeper stopping that. But then this is a terrific take. Milanowski, that early entry ball, sets up Nielsen 1v1. And this is a striker's move. Drop of the shoulder, gets it on your preferred right foot, but just gets so unlucky. Kisses it off the wrong side of the post. Koke Vegas extremely pleased. Keeper's best friend.
There's a look at tonight's stats. They're brought to you by Savi Law. 10 shots for Orange County, nothing to show for it.
And a one shot on target. That just tells you they're doing extremely well. They're not getting any clear-cut opportunity. Needs to be more clinical, more composed in around that 18-yard box. You have Milan Alowski, Brian Alowski, and Nielsen, who I think have been very good at working together. Brian's been say high and wide, putting a lot of pressure on the loyal. But for Nate Miller, you're getting how quickly can you get Guido on the ball? He's going to be a special player in this next 45 minutes. Moshe Bond's going to do what he does. Domus is going to stay high. Colin Martin, Corona, those three players get on the ball, dictate tempo, and see this game out.
Well, we've all enjoyed the action on the field so far tonight, but we did want to make mention of the loss of a towering figure in the U.S. soccer community. You see the blue wristbands that the referees wear every May. They have since Terry Vaughn was diagnosed with Huntington's disease. A two-time Gold Cup official, a former FIFA World Cup official, Champions League, Major League Soccer, and a friend and a colleague and a mentor to so many. He passed away this week on Thursday from Huntington's disease. It is Huntington's Disease Awareness Month. The referees will continue to wear those blue armbands, not only to raise awareness for this brutal disease, but to honor the legacy of one of the all-time great officials in American soccer. On to the second half on the whistle of Eligio Araguin, and we're underway for the final 45 between San Diego and Orange County. Our genuine love and prayers to the entire pro referees community. I texted with a referee who's working today who just described all the emotion that he felt during the week and how he just knew it would bubble up over the course of the game that he was working over the weekend. And, of course, the Vaughn family as well. This gets sent into the bleachers. San Diego, if this holds, second place in the Western Conference. A 2-0 lead over Orange County, coming off the managerial change midweek with Morton Carlson taking over. That's a foul. Martin. That's a push here, a handball that led to it. So Brent Richards entered the game at halftime and immediately gets a touch on the ball. 16 in that brand new orange kit, replaces Villanueva. That's like for like. At outside back, sub brought to you by MetaQuip, turning setbacks into comebacks.
Brent Richards gives you an attacking ability on that far side, the ability to motor up and down that right-hand side. Talking about a long throw in as well, something that Nate Miller was quick to point out. We scout them, we know what he's all about, what he brings to the table, so how quickly can he adapt to this game?
Richards, the first ever Timbers homegrown player, got a chance to feature back in Portland with Orange County in what ended up to be a 3-1 defeat to the Timbers in the Open Cup. The reality was 2-1 into the dying embers of that game and quite nearly pulled level, if not for the offside flag. Brian Olowski. Adams. And the referee let play race upfield. Now he's brought it back here and shown a yellow to Joe Corona.
You don't really know what the argument is. If you're Joe Corona, you can just see as he pulls his moments before Brian Olowski comes across. Now he needs to be extremely careful in terms of his discipline, positioning. I just think if you're Orange County and you have the ability to find that second midfielder, whether it is a Kyle Scott, a Partida, Chada that's advanced on the other side of that half pocket, just playing off the shoulder of Joe Corona. There's a lot of real estate to work in. How quickly can you change your point of attack for Morton Carlson, and go out the other way? That's going to be extremely important for the success of Orange County.
Throw for Nick Moon. What was he like in the early days of Lansing?
Quiet.
Yeah?
Quiet, went about his business, hardworking, no nonsense. Always had the ability and was a tremendous athlete.
Speaking of good athleticism to get forward, it's a great ball and Martin was able to track it down. Elijah Martin onto his left peg. Domineering header away by Knockham. Moon always, as he's on the ball here, he's lost it to touch. So industrious, isn't he? Really can put his head down, but when he really gets pumping forward, he can be a bit of a blur.
And it's not really the way that he runs. It seems like he just glides through players as well. It has a very, I mean, we were doing our physical testing and he was #1 in everything, whether sprinting, jumping, just a great athlete, but also has a very good soccer mind. The spaces that he picks up, the reading of the game, when to slow it down, when to take players on, combination plays, bright future for Nick Moon. And when you have Nate Miller fully believes in him as well, it gives him the opportunity, and well-deserved.
It's also a reminder of how well Lansing recruited before they were shuttered after one season. Did he call you the most efficient scorer? How did he describe this? It was far too kind.
I don't recall.
It either took the most chances or the fewest chances for you to score. That's what I know.
We'll go with the fewest.
Yeah. Guido. Wow. Well, that run always seemed a bit star-crossed.
The second nutmeg that Brian Alosky has had.
Cropper. Scott. Snockham. Powers for Dogman. Dogman and line cutback ball. It's headed toward the corner flag. That is a golf shot. It stayed in. And this will end up being a goal kick. If you're Orange County, the 2 points that really stood out in talking to Morton Carlson in the lead up to this game, use the word clarity a lot. Clarity in expectation, in philosophy, in management of players. And the other thing that stood out as this ball taken away, and Scott levies it off. Shata plays forward, back out to Scott. And he lofts this up to the backside, header in front. Stoneman crashes down. Flag stays down, lifted to the back post. Martin will allow Koke to get there. He wants more from star players. He didn't necessarily say it wasn't good from guys like Alosky and Knockham, but he did say he expected more from players of their immense expectation, immense value.
And it also speaks to just the belief that he has in those guys to say, look, you've been doing extremely well, but there's another level you can take this thing to. And you look at Milan Alosky, Golden Boot winner in 2022, to give him more responsibility to say you can go higher, you can do better. That just tells you that he sees something in the young man to say you can take your game and get into that next gear to keep pushing the limits that you think you have. And also, not to be too harsh, but Villanueva, not the best showing, takes him off at the halftime.
Yep.
Means no nonsense, means if it's not good enough, I'm not scared to go and dip into my bench. I have the belief it's always next man up mentality, and saying that since if you were a starter for Richard Chappell, that doesn't mean you're going to be a starter for me. You need to earn your spot day in and day out in terms of training and performances on game day.
And eventually they'll get Lamb and Fox and McNulty into this team more consistently and at full strength. And when that happens, what does it look like then? Peterson's finally back in the 18 today. Bjorshol, Norwegian center back, unavailable today. Little pirouette here. Nielsen.
That's a clever idea there from Nielsen.
That was good from Powers. Guido didn't think so. Scott. Richards. Well, it's sustained here 10 minutes into the half, but Orange County eventually have to break through. Dogman, not if San Diego has anything to say about it. Moshaban puts it wide, and Moon navigating well. San Diego trying to do something they haven't done this year, and they didn't do a single time last year. 23 consecutive league road games without attaining a clean sheet.
And something that Nate Miller mentioned to us is their defensive shape and form as well.
Yep.
Saying that it's a brilliant opportunity to read that stat, just throw that out the window and get your clean sheet here on the road against a team that you didn't really have a lot of knowledge about, didn't know what it was going to look like. The head coaching change, but so far, approaching an hour in this match, so good defensively for the Loyal.
They were looking at film from Morten Carlson's stint as a head coach in Denmark, but that was 3-4 years ago. And then they proceeded really not to tell the players about any of it. So once we start to get a better grip on it as a staff, then we can start to fill players' heads with it, which I'm sure you would have appreciated in your time. Damas stripped it. Damas falls to Mosheban. A ton of contact play on. Mosheban forward, Guido. Dragged out. Martin. Damas. Free kick. That's a card. There's a lot after that. Brian Olowski got the initial step in. Now there's 5 Loyal players, maybe 7 orange jerseys in there. Stoneman is really heated. There is no VAR, so what the referee, the fourth, and the AR saw is what's going to be. And these are former teammates involved in this scrum with Damas.
Yeah, as Damas gets it. That's a rash challenge there from Brian.
That's Moon that pushed down Olowski. Adams almost got his jersey ripped off.
It's interesting when these things happen. It's the 2 players that had the initial confrontation that are not even arguing. It's the other players that come involved.
Well, that card's about to get a workout. Joe Corona is on a yellow, and Villanueva was on a yellow. He came off at halftime. So Richards shown a yellow. That's a yellow to Olowski, one would think for the tackle. Moon for the push. Not done yet. That's Partita, who got into it with either Moon or Stoneman. I think it was Stoneman.
I think you're giving all these yellows, you need to give one to Grant Stoneman as well.
You would think. So I think they're satisfied if that's it. Nate Miller speaking now to Eligio Araguin. Morten Carlson was there as Araguin explained it to his 4th official. Stoneman getting mighty close to sticking his head in the Lion's mouth. So our microphones are on the other side of the field, of note. You can see Morten Carlson there on the right, Nate Miller on the left, on either side of the fourth official. And you wonder if there might be more than meets the eye here. So the two captains have joined the two head coaches. That's Knockham and Carlson to the right, Guido and Miller to the left, with Eligio Araguin, the referee, and the fourth official. So Orange County are preparing to make substitutes at this 64-minute juncture. Regardless of what caused the commotion beyond the initial tackle, the yellow cards that were issued were Olaski, Richards, and Partita for Orange County, and Moon for San Diego. So Olaski coming off here after, as I think you described rightly, a rash tackle. Bryce Jamison enters. And then that's Partita off and Seth Kasipli on. And then Scott off. Mark McNulty enters. The subs are brought to you by MedEquip, turning setbacks into comebacks. Well, the reality of the matter is there's very little that we can discern from what occurred on the other side of the field. We'll leave it as is. The punishment that occurred there along with the substitutions, the only true clarity we have. Now, the initial foul was at 58:46. So we're going to have 8 minutes of stoppage time purely based off that, according to Press Box and Stats Perform. Now Corona and Moshaban being brought to the spot of the free kick. And after that dust up in about 8 minutes and now 30 seconds of conflict resolution, it'll be Moshaban or Corona to put it in play. It is Corona, and this steered aside. Adams going to send Koke back with Mark McNulty making his 4th appearance for the club. They had dealt with some injuries here at the start of the year.
It's a different look on the front line here for Orange County. McNulty, we've seen how powerful he is, ability to get him behind. But an enticing one is Jamison. Electric pace, ability to stretch and take players on and create havoc within the opposition. The youngster, a brilliant opportunity to give his side a sign of hope as they're down 2-0 at home.
Damas. Carried that about 50 yards, and he's not done yet. And now Damas whistled for a foul.
And those two have been going at it all night between him and Akam. Nice little battle between an experienced center back and a young, opportunistic, emerging center forward.
That's Elijah Martin winning it. Taken back by Chata. Header up and away, Corona. Guido. By the way, one note that almost got lost at the bottom of what was a short press release announcing the change in management for Orange County this past week. The club also announced the departure of head of performance, Scott Peary. after a really injury-riddled, soft tissue kind of injury-riddled start to the campaign. One wonders whether or not that may bear any relation. Riley, hands to his head, he knew he got it wrong. Reigning Eastern Conference winner Louisville City takes on Miami FC on May the 13th. Action commences 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific on ESPN2. Live from Lynn Family Stadium in Kentucky. Josh Winder just turned 18 years old. One wonders how many more times we'll get a chance to see him here based on all the conjecture about his potential European future.
Pertaining to this game is going to be extremely interesting now. A lot of managing emotions for both of these sides. Put that dust up, emotions are high, adrenaline. You don't want to go into a silly challenge to pick up a yellow card or even a second yellow card for the players that are already booked. Get your foot on the ball, get the confidence within the team once again, and go back to playing football.
Powers took it off Damas. Richards. Sprinting in behind. Shot, missed clearance. It's going to be a corner. True Path Loans corner kick for Orange County. High arcing to the backside. Off of Elijah Martin, that's a corner on the other side.
When things haven't been clicking in around that 18-yard box, set piece is extremely important. You're looking for quality here from Chana to give your big boys, such as Nakam McNulty, to get on the end of it, win your individual battles.
Big clip back here, forward from Dogman. Whoa. It's quite the hit. Settles down to Chata again. Chata gave that one extra little half click. Had Corona's eyes probably rolling somewhere to the back of his head.
He knew exactly what that meant too. Quick to give a hand down and say, I'm sorry, didn't mean it.
There's McNulty. Time at Reading over the last 5 years, but spent much of that time on loan. 5 separate loans, 5 different teams. Played in all 3 levels at the top of the Scottish pyramid, 3 levels in the English pyramid. McNulty at the age of 30 just crossed 400 career games, all competitions, in his last match. Martin, Adams, flipped around a couple times. Moshaban got a touch. It's still Chata. Kept away from Jamison. Okay.
Gone a bit away from playing if you're Orange County. You bring in a Seth Sipley, passing range, the dictator of the tempo on the ball right now. Milan Olaski extremely quiet in the second half. Him and Nielsen not really having that same partnership that we came to expect, especially after that first half that was so free-flowing on the attacking phase for Orange County. But give credit to the Loyal defensively, extremely frustrating, the home side. Everything's compact, everything's in front of them. The players in the center of the park doing the defensive duties extremely well, doubling down, winning those second balls, which was a massive key for Nate Miller. Really mature performance, 77 minutes in from the visitors.
That's a mature move inward. Moon finally gave way. McNulty slipping ahead, pumping the brakes away from Nielsen. Picks his head up, floats in the air toward Olaski.
And it's a terrific run from Nielsen. Bends left to come right. The understanding between him and McNulty. We give credit to Riley saying like for like with the striker to deny a clear-cut goal-scoring opportunity.
That is it for Tumi Moshaban, who scored in the 15th minute. His second goal of the campaign after a 6-goal, 7-assist season last year. It's Perez who comes in, sub brought to you by MetaQuip, turning setbacks into comebacks. Perez spending the last 2 years at DC United. Shot, over everybody. Stoneman allowed that through. Perhaps would have needed a jetpack to get to it, and Koke on the scene.
It's a brilliant idea from Chata. Nielsen pulls up his run, just begging for someone to crash that far post. Been extremely pleased with the shift in performance from the center midfielder. Working extremely hard, but very comfortable on the ball. And a good impact signing for Orange County as well.
Dogman laced that through out the other side past Jamison and 3 of his cohorts.
But it's been the story for Orange County. Getting yourself in a very dangerous situation, but not closing the deal. No one getting on the end, but terrific ball from Dogman. As a striker, the movement in and around that 18-yard box, always that secondary, whether it's to come far to go near to go far. Just not on the same page and not clicking.
Of note, we did have an 8.5-minute stoppage. We probably have another 20 to 25 minutes left to go here. There's another look at that little clip on Koke.
Yeah, he falls a bit awkward. That trailing right leg gets caught underneath him.
Whistle blows here. That's a yellow card to Dogman.
It just comes to the backside of Elijah Martin. Dogman, I don't think it's worthy of a yellow card. But now he needs to be extremely careful to challenge to stay on the field.
SoCal Gas yellow card. been kind of an eerie feeling the last few minutes, huh?
Whatever happened, you can just see that the players maybe felt impacted, not really got into the rhythm the same way.
Yeah.
Very cagey, sense that.
Olaski came down to Nielsen, short-lived, however. Guido. You know, most every player kind of has a little physical quirk that helps you identify them on the field. With Guido, it's sort of the rolled-up shorts, right? Adams rolls back with the preordained mane.
Maybe it's a bit of an intimidating factor.
Guido?
Showing off those quads.
Sure. Jamison.
I would play.
Nielsen came off a Stoneman. Appeals all over the place for a handball. That may have caught the shoulder. Return service up to Olaski. Askew. Well, before we get to Ricky's quads, how about Stoneman's arms?
Nielsen does extremely well. Not enough in that to point to the spot. Doesn't make himself bigger, hits his leg, not even his arm. And Stoneman extremely well positioned throughout this game. I thought Nielsen was good as well for Orange County. Worked extremely hard. Asking questions, testing the shape, getting in behind. Just so unlucky not to have that opening goal as Oceandina comes in for Nielsen.
Sub brought to you by MetaQuip, turning setbacks into comebacks. And for Oceandina, this is a swan song before making his way into the U20s. He heads to Buenos Aires tomorrow. We're hoping he'll get some time for the U.S. Under-20s. Naperville, Illinois native.
What a terrific opportunity.
Huge.
Playing a World Cup, represent your country. It's interesting. Some of his teammates that were called upon not getting released.
Yeah.
It was a big head scratcher. I'm always a fan that if a player gets the opportunity to represent his country, you have to let him go, especially when it's a World Cup.
And you know as well as anybody, you know, think back, even Landon Donovan had one of his big sort of coming out parties at the Youth World Cup.
Of course, it's the ability to test yourself.
That is a foul against Orange County.
And if it wasn't, it would have been a handball on Cal Adams.
So Knockham catching Stoneman.
We talked about the long throw from Brent Richards. Awkward coming together. Cal Adams gets away with one, that's for sure.
Riley. Testing the constitution of these ad boards today, huh? Stoneman. Koke with a big step and on to Riley. Up through Guido. Martin. Guido sprinting. He's got Damas central. Guido will reassess. Martin. Perez kept it moving. Away from Damas. There was a yellow card there. It went to Powers. Unclear what occurred there. We didn't get a very good look. I have a feeling that the Disco is going to be watching this closely. There's a yellow card to McNulty. So by my count, 7 yellow cards for Orange County and 2 for San Diego at this stage. Yellow card by SoCal Gas.
But there's no need here for McNulty. Corona's facing towards the end line. Corona makes the most of it, to be fair. But a player with the experience, you talk about over 400 caps in club football. Don't even put your foot in the cookie jar, you get caught. The experience that Joe Corona has, he's going to make the most of it, trying to bleed out this clock. He knows it's his best friend at the moment, up 2-0 on the road to see out a game.
Riley. Martin. Riley got over Oceandina. Guido went into his bag on that. Well, if you're San Diego, you are now still probably about 15 minutes away. Win that would move you second. Potentially the first clean sheet they've achieved on the road in 24 games. Perez. Oh, Corona. That was really brilliant by Corona. That's a yellow card. And that is Kasipli. It'd be easier now for me to just say the only players on the field without a yellow card for Orange County are Knockham, Cropper, Jameson, Milanowski, Oceandina, and Scott.
Corona dances his way through a couple players. Once again, you know better if you're Kasipli. Just pure frustration. The ball's gone. Hip check right through Joe Corona. I only know there's an argument to be had.
Set piece here, Corona. Played it short. Martin. Stridently, Colin Martin. Adams. Into the corner for Riley. We are about to see an epic amount of stoppage time. The fourth official, I believe, just alerted the bench, and the numbers going up. 15 added minutes. Almost 9 of which came during an extended scuffle between the two teams about 25 to 30 minutes ago on the clock. That in mind, that means there was another 6 minutes beyond that. Dogman That's Guido. Dogman again. Damas chasing. Door closed by Nakam. Let's not forget, San Diego just played 125 or so minutes on the unique surface up in Tukwila, Washington against Seattle in the Open Cup, and then a really difficult game against El Paso. So yes, they've had a minute to breathe, but 14 more minutes. This will be with San Diego. Fans, still time to go check out all the new merchandise for 2023. New women's collection, new sweatshirts, new OCSC quarter zip. Over to OCSCshop.com. Grab yours today. Orange County fined one. This is going to get really weird really quick if it hasn't already.
Have to move the ball extremely quick. The Loyal going to sit to a mid to low block. The way to beat that, pulling players out of position. Oceandina plays down essentially, pulls out Riley. Now
that's capped in and tapped away from Guido Central.
Quick movements, quick ball circulation, combination plays, testing Coque Vegas. Get players in around that 6-yard box. It's a good ball in, but no one makes that initial action to break a line, to get in front of the defender, and easily swept away from the Loyal.
Colin Martin foul.
Looking for quality here if you're shot up. Aiming for right around that penalty spot.
Left it short. And the run out is on. Ahead to Damas. Cropper went right back up the gut. Cropper is out. But it's closed down effectively enough. Colin Martin took a look.
And it's the right decision there from Colin Martin. Picks up his head. Would have been a watch out.
Just simply took it away. Milan Alaski. Guido tangled him up. Alaski aims back at it. Falls to Chata. That is a foul for Moon. Moon's on a yellow. Yellow, red. Nick Moon is off. And San Diego's gonna have to see out 10 minutes down to 10 men.
Frustrating here for Nate Miller and San Diego Loyal. Keeping your discipline throughout this game. We talked about the movement from Jamison. A bit of skill to skip away from Nick Moon. It's always difficult when you're on a yellow card late in this game. Tired, you need to move your feet. The extension of the arm, the grab of the jersey is always going to get you in the book.
That second yellow presented by Massage Matters. And now San Diego's the team that's going to have to massage this clock for about 10 minutes. Ball floated up, header step down and in! Orange County through. Corradi Oceandina are back within one. Oshindina has his first.
And we've talked about set pieces throughout the whole night. This time it's a goal scorer, Milan Alaski, on the ball. The quality to whip a ball in. Oshindina, the movement to slash across that first post right in front of Elijah Martin. Textbook header. Snaps it over his left shoulder. Nothing Koke Vegas can do. Game on in Orange County.
The goal presented by Hogue. Corradi Oshindina's first professional goal. Just a day before he leaves for Argentina with the U.S. under-20s. Here we go. Stoneman. Jackson Simba on for Elijah Martin. Sub brought to you by MedEquip, turning setbacks into comebacks.
It's a bigger emphasis now for Orange County, needing it of a goal, down a man, up a man. Ball circulation, ball movement, player movement, all of the above. Everything you do need to be at a higher tempo to pull players out of position, open up gaps within the back line of the Loyal, create confusion, overloads on the width, put the ball in a dangerous situation, just ask questions of Koke Vegas.
This circulates backward, forward from Kasipli. Kept alive, Milan Alaski. Driving toward Martin. This is a goal kick. So let's try and clarify all that went on here. Around the 58-minute mark, there was a tackle from Brian Alaski catching Ronaldo Damas from San Diego. That led to coming together of the two teams on the field. Multiple shoving incidents. In the end, 5 different cards were handed out, one of which was to Nick Moon. In the aftermath of that, Moon was sent off for a second yellow card, a tactical foul here in extra time. That extra time of 15 minutes, I don't know if it's a record, but it's close. 9 minutes of it as a result of that extended scuffle in the early 60s of this match. Long ball driven ahead. And now Corradi Oshindina has pulled one back for Orange County after Moshaban and Corona scored in a 5-minute span in the 15th and 19th minute in the first half. Ball forward, header from Dogman. Richards has that big throw, and it's something Nate Miller talked about in the lead-up, Ricky.
And he also talked about his defensive form that they're in at the moment. Have to prove it here as we approach the last 6+ minutes.
Richards throws, header to the backside. Koke's got it. And there was a push. Guido wore the punishment and wins the free kick. All the while, San Diego now still without a road clean sheet since October of 2021. There's the push.
And it's Knockham that gets on the end of it. Guido goes down. Okay, Vegas securely caresses the ball.
As you'd hope all good goalkeepers do. San Diego reduced to 10, and with the ball here, maybe another 5 minutes. We had a goal and a sending off since we commenced the 15. Could go longer. Richards. Jamison.
Going to be really important these last 5 minutes for both of these coaches, whether you're Nate Miller, who's going to be able to step up and relieve some of that pressure take charge in terms of their leadership, winning their individual battles, not having any sloppy mistakes, and just keeping the whole group turned on in terms of focus for Orange County. New head coach Morten Carlson, who's going to stand up and produce that little bit of magic that everyone in the stadium is just begging for Orange County to get this result. The quality that they have to show the character of the fight, to show what it means to wear the jersey and the shield of Orange County Soccer Club.
McNulty, one of the newest players to put it on. This is a corner. True Path Loans corner kick. Milan Olaski, the set piece for Orange County. Winds it up. That's just too high. Richards chasing. Picked up by Kasipli. The reserve. Damas took it away, and he's off to the races. And Damas outraced, and that's rare.
And that's the person you want chasing him down, Jamison. Terrific work from the youngster, the individual, willing to get in behind, deny Damas a transition moment.
To be fair, that's Damas after 102 minutes. That's Jamison on as a substitute in the second half. And you can see Damas is sucking wind now.
He's worked extremely hard. So what do you expect from Ronaldo Damas? Work rate. Just a handful to defend, always riding the line. Asking questions, so opportunistic. I think if you ask any center back pairings, back line within the USL Championship, who's probably the hardest to defend, he has to be up there every single time.
Header down, player fell down. Well, here's the opening, advantage played. Dogman over the top. Koke. That would have been absolute insanity from Corradi Oshandina.
Just a movement on the back end, playing off the shoulder of Riley. A bit too much weight on that from Dogman, but it's a great look to break lines, to test and shape the San Diego back line. Oshandina's been extremely active since coming on.
Shipped into Cropper by Damas. 80 seconds left at minimum. We may easily see 106. Knockham, Kasipli. 3 orange shirts parading into the box. It's Dogman. Dogman dangerously sits top of the penalty area, driving in with a deflection. Can't reload to Dogman. Back out to Kasipli. Switches the point. Richards puts it up. Down to Kasipli. Dogman stayed onside. Will they get it wide on the opposite end for Jamison? It's Richards. Driving. Richards! And that's a moment that lets Loyal off the hook as we approach the time only Eligio Araguin knows for sure.
Yeah, it's the wrong decision there from Richards. The traffic that's in around that 18-yard box, to cut it in, your least preferred left foot from that distance. Just throw the ball into the mixer, see what happens.
Whoa. That's inadvertent, and it's a potential head injury. That's Knockham. Kasipli just inadvertently sent a missile into Knockham. He's going to have to come off for some measure of time. It's great that he's waving away the athletic trainer, but any potential head injury's got to come off.
Just quit kicking it
Daniel Peterson is the only available field player if they decided to use a concussion sub here. But Peterson's coming off injury. It's a drop ball for Cropper. We're at 106 minutes. Kasipli. That's too far. And that's full time. And San Diego goes the distance. A 2-1 win on the road. Up to second in the Western Conference. And this was wild. Tonight's man of the match for Orange County Soccer Club is presented by Northgate Market. First professional goal for Corradi Oshandina, and it gave Orange County a pulse.
And that's all you can ask for a substitution. To bring quality, to bring energy, and he did just that. The header, he takes it terrifically, goes up, heads it down. That's what you want for your substitution. Well-deserved man of the match, and what an opportunity as he marches on into the U20 World Cup.
All right, well, there's a lot to wrap up here, and we'll try after the break here. True Path Loans presents your final score. San Diego 2, Orange County 1. Wrap it up on the other side.
Here in Irvine, there's something for everyone. You can satisfy your sweet tooth here or here. Cool off with freshly picked berries or catch some rays. Get some post-worthy views or rock out with your friends. Raise your adrenaline or just relax. It's master planned with you in mind. Irvine awaits.
When you are killed by a drunk driver, you become nothing but a stick figure on a police report. Your death will be a story never to be told by you, and justice will never be served. Last year, nearly 13,000 stick figures were drawn by officers after a drunk driving fatality. It will take everyone to eliminate drunk driving, so that no one ever has to tell your story from a police report.
True Path Loans presents your final score tonight. San Diego goes on the road, picks up a vital 3 points, and they just keep pace near the top of the Western Conference. Nate Miller celebrating with his side. Let's take a look at the Turf Newport Beach full-time highlights. Starting the 15th minute, it's Tumi Moshaban after a brutal giveaway in the back.
But it's a really clever cutback ball here from Damas as this back line for Orange County is retreating towards their goal line to protect the goal. Moshabani hangs out. Clinical finish. Gets a clean strike on it. Cody Cropper can't do enough. Off to the corner for San Diego Loyal. This game had everything. You talk about putting your foot on the pressure, asking questions, getting in behind Nick Moon. It's that first touch that really puts Villanueva in a really difficult situation. It's him or the ball. It's never both. When you have a player like Corona just ropes this thing into the top corner and off to the corner to celebrate with the faithful.
Yeah, that's only the third penalty attempt in Corona's career, according to Transfer Market. Skip ahead to the 58th minute. This is where things really went off the rails. So the tackle by Olaski, there were comments made from Stoneman down to Olaski. Then there was pushing. Moon got a yellow card in that moment. Moon would later pull down a player here, second yellow, he's sent off. So we don't know all that occurred in that 10-minute span, but it gave us 15 minutes of added time, and Oceandina snaps a header down to bring it back within one, but that's as far as we get. Here's the Savi Law Group full-time match stats. I'm sure the press conferences will be very illuminating, but as far as the game itself, takeaways.
And for your San Diego loyal Nate Miller, extremely pleased. You come into this hostile environment after losing at home against El Paso. You wanted a reaction for your boys. You knew Orange County was going to be full of emotion with the change at the helm. So how do you manage that? You scored 2 goals within the first 20 minutes. And then you sit back, you defend, and you defend extremely well. He's going to be a bit disappointed with the lack of discipline in terms of Nick Moon, but defensively spot on. But for Orange County, a lot to take away from this. If you're Morten Carlson, first game at the helm, what was it going to look like? To be fair, offensively, having a lot of success getting into that final third, but the only thing that was lacking was the clinical, getting on the end of things, the combination play, asking questions of Koke Vegas. So if you're Orange County, yes, you don't get the result, but a lot to walk forward in. And again, like Morten Carlson said, trust, clarity, pass by pass, one step at a time.
Notably, San Diego 3 shots. That's their fewest in a game this year, but they actually had a higher expected goals tonight than Orange County did, despite their 15 attempts. Ronaldo Damas returns. He'll take pictures with the County Line Coalition. He's a winner with San Diego. For our entire team, and Ricky Lopez Espin alongside Mike Watts saying thanks for watching. Oceandina gets his first professional goal, but it's Moshaban and Corona's penalty that stand the true test of time. San Diego wins it 2-1.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.